Good afternoon. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals IGP. Greetings from the Institute of Global Professionals IGP. Thank you all for joining with us and staying with us till the end. Honorable knowledge seekers, today I am your host for the afternoon. I am my my name is Janatul Hulia. I am from Bangladesh. Dear knowledge seekers, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP, FPO non-profit organization, is a social and ISO certified international educational and training institute. In the last 3 years, we have already served 35 million knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus professions and 4,500 plus organizations. Institute of Global Professionals IGP and ISO 9001 2015 and 10,000 to 2018 is the training facility for skill development which was founded in 2020 and is generating competent candidates to meet demand in the global level market by providing professional qualifications. The Institute of Global Professionals is an educational institute that provides social work globally recognized and reputable. We serve students and community resources providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one's skill just by acquiring formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate professional generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, and internationally to students, job seekers, job holders, and also for learners to respective campus, location, and distance learning platforms. We are an occupational and dependable institution. IGP is one of the famous online institutes from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business model, it's part of our human life. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminars, courses, awards, quizzes, competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to more than offer more than 100 premium services for free, like creating our portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and one knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge which can update all. Kids learning, gaming websites, free courses, converter sets, and many more. We have to empower youth to learn to make their expectations and dreams and become highly skilled people. We implement several training programs, webinars, and offline online courses for youth and learners by professional trainers, speakers, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kinds of youth to promote the education of their abilities and personalities. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professions. We believe that knowledge is love, life, and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and will serve them with good research and practice methods. We must have a genuine concern for the learners. We represent more diversity, growth, and innovation and reform. To lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity, IGP members are committed to offering effective best quality services and continual improvement so that the individuals who seek information can improve their skill levels and well. Before I move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. You've already completed 1,567 webinars successfully. Wow. Moving to the next, with your continuous support, you have already completed 1,567 webinars successfully. Wow. Dear IGP speakers, participants, and volunteers, at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.eduigp.com. On the website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all of our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy service. So create your account for once with your profile information. Note that with your profile information, you will enjoy all features. With mismatched data, you cannot do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in the live quiz competition on our website. We replace live. You have to join directly to our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars with verified e-certificates. Now it's easier and time oriented because after the session we will not provide you with any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate. Otherwise, no. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass it. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download all of your previous certificate, speaker certificate. If you are a host of an IGP, you can download your certificate of gratitude. If you are an online quiz competition winner, you can download your certificate of participation. If you are selected for a lifetime membership, then you can download your certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participated in any award function which organize combined support with IGP, you can download that also. You can instantly prepare and download 18 types of instant certificates from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Influencer during the pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities during the pandemic, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeker Campaign 2020, Certificate of IGP Knowledge Seeker Campaign 2021, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeker Campaign 2020. Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1 Authentic Assessment Teaching Learning, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2 Teaching English as a Foreign Language and Assessment, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2 3 Digital Classroom Engagement, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4 The New Trends in Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5 Upskilling Organization Leadership and Managerial Skills, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6 Trends and Innovation in Mathematics Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7 Research and Competency Based, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8 Art in Teaching a Special Program in Arts, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 9 21st Century Tools in Teaching Mathematics, Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador, Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1,000 plus international level quizzes with verified e-certificates. Teaching tips for teachers, health tips for parents, health tips for teens, gamification tools for teachers. You can also join IGP. You can check out our 50 plus premium services website for free and many more. Dear IGP Evolution, we promised previously but lack of technical issue while late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous credential. We solved all issues from our website. Now you can enroll. Set password and everything. You can check your dashboard for all webinar details. It's a cordial request to you. Check all buttons and pages on our website. Share, like, and share will be benefited. Thank you. But note that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy our services. At present, we are going to start our 1068 program named Vocabulary Teaching for Low Proficient Learners. And our today's speaker, Sir Raju Dhillu. Before I hand over to the stage to Sir, I want to share a very little about our speaker. Research scholar, PhD English ELT, IIT Bhubaneswar, Jotari, Odisha. Now is a very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now is a very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Hello, sir.
Hello, hello. So, how are you all
How are
today?
you, sir?
I'm fine. Thank you. How are you today?
Okay, sir. Now the stage is yours, sir. Over to you.
Yeah, right. Let me share my. Very good morning, very good afternoon, very good evening to all the inquisitive learners. And I feel very happy and proud to be here to present virtual webinar on vocabulary teaching for low proficient learners. To begin this presentation, I would like to take this opportunity to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Institute of Global Professionals for giving me this opportunity to share my knowledge and expertise in ELT English language teaching. Uh, I am Raju Duli, a PhD scholar from School of Humanities, Social Sciences and Management, Indian Institute of Technology, Bhubaneswar, India. So coming to moving to the outline of the presentation, which includes importance of teaching vocabulary, reasons for the poor performance, and principles to develop materials for teaching and teaching strategies that we can use for low proficient students. And this presentation will be ended by references. So coming to importance of teaching vocabulary, it is always essential that we should understand how important it is to learn English language in the 21st millennium. With the advent of information communication technology and globalization, learning English and developing language skills has become very important role in our life, and it ventures every part of our life. So keeping in that mind, it is also significant to know what constitute language proficiency and language skills. The clear-cut answer is that the vocabulary. But the point is that many low proficient learners are always lagging behind vocabulary knowledge due to so many reasons that we will explore in this presentation. So coming to why we have to teach vocabulary, because it helps us in different ways. For example, if we have vocabulary knowledge, which in turn helps language skills, be it speaking, reading, writing, and listening. So every aspect, when you take every language skill is developed and enhanced by vocabulary knowledge. That is why very famous ELT author says that ISP Nation says that without vocabulary, without grammar, something can be conveyed, but without vocabulary, nothing can be conveyed. So that is the significance of even significance of both teaching and learning of vocabulary. And another point that we can, that we can think of when it comes to teaching vocabulary is this vocabulary enhances our communication skills. If a person is equipped with a sizable amount of vocabulary knowledge, he will he's good to communicate, and he is very feel confident, and also he will be very fluent and accurate in all language skills, also communication skills. So that is the the whole point of teaching vocabulary knowledge. So coming to reasons for poor performance, as I mentioned earlier, that vocabulary is something which by which we can develop language skills and other aspects of knowledge, other aspects of language knowledge. But the point is that when students lack of exposure to the English language, when ineffective teaching methods, even lack of guidance to learn vocabulary, even lack of resources, interest, and even parental support, if there is any imbalanced equation between teaching and materials, then then only this pure performance will affect to the overall quality of the language skills of the particular students. Even inadequate preparation by the teachers to teach students, also another reason that we can think of when it comes to poor performance of learners. So as a language teachers, we have to keep in mind these reasons, and also try to mitigate these factors, because these factors will influence ultimate quantity and quality of language skills. So coming to the third point is that what kind of principles, so when teaching developing and designing materials, what kind of principle do we have to keep in mind, and we have to consider are first is that level of vocabulary consideration. If a ESL instructor aims to develop or design materials, he has to think students level of vocabulary knowledge. Are they low proficient learners? Are they advanced learners? If they are low proficient learners, then we have to provide vocabulary which can meet their needs. For example, if students are lagging behind high frequency vocabulary knowledge, or academic vocabulary knowledge, or business related knowledge, even a concept, theme based knowledge, then we have to provide that type of vocabulary in the materials. Only then students encounter those words while reading that materials. As a result of that, the students keep practicing on that words and develop that knowledge, and you will become fluent in that areas. So that is first thing. And the second thing is that the frequency of vocabulary also very important, because not every word is frequently encountered on day-to-day basis. For example, if there are high frequency vocabulary where we frequently encounter, there are low frequency vocabulary also which we don't usually encounter on daily day-to-day basis. So we have to distinguish which word is suitable for the inclusion in the textbook, which vocabulary is not suitable for exclusion in the textbooks. That's what we have to understand as language teachers. At the same time, availability of vocabulary is also another factor, another principle I could say we have to take into account, and then work on that. Coming to while another important factor where we have to take into account while developing or designing materials for teaching low proficient learners, are we have to try our level best to integrate language skills in terms of language activities, even graded materials also, personalized teaching also. We only then we can good to teach this vocabulary for low proficient students. So coming to the main course of teaching strategies for low proficient students, there are different strategies where we can make use of while designing and teaching vocabulary for low proficient students. Okay, the first thing is that the role of graded materials, and the second thing is that L1 translation. L1 means mother tongue translation, and the third thing is that vocabulary through reading, and the fourth thing is that vocabulary through classroom instruction, and the fifth one is that the last but not the least is that vocabulary through authentic materials and classroom tasks. So now all these things we are going to explore one by one. The first thing is that as I mentioned, that different strategies that we have to use in order to develop materials or in order to teach vocabulary for language, low proficient learners. Then the first thing is that when it comes to role of graded readers, we should understand what are graded readers. Graded readers are books that are specially written, modified for second language. That's what the English language, while using controlled vocabulary, or in the sense that when you're creating any material, you have to mention those vocabulary that should meet students needs and students frequency, as I mentioned earlier, certain principles while teaching vocabulary. So this is also like that. When creating graded readers, this is also important. For example, if students are lagging behind high frequency vocabulary, then we have to provide these graded readers, because these graded readers are very developed by controlled vocabularies. That's it. That is what about role of grade readers. Coming to, it's also important to look at what kind of benefits that we can get out of providing graded readers. The first thing is that graded readers can contribute to vocabulary expansion. When students keep reading these graded readers over a period of time, they develop this they improve vocabulary expansion, vocabulary knowledge. Initially, if a student has only 1000 word families, when he start reading these graded readers over a period of time, his or her vocabulary knowledge will become 2000 to 3000 word family, depending on the frequency of reading that books and then encountering of that books, and the kind of activities that the learner go through while reading these graded readers. Another important benefit that we can get out of graded readers is that these graded readers provide opportunities to practice word guessing from context. When a student encounter an unknown unknown word while reading, but these graded readers, with the help of these graded readers, that the learner can guess the meaning of that particular unknown word by guessing from context. That is the another benefit that we can get out of reading graded readers. And the third point is that Even this graded readers also serve the purpose of repeatedly meeting the words, in the sense that when a learner keep reading the same books again and again, he will get an opportunity to meet that word. As a result of that, he will remember that word or meaning of it, or I could say all the aspects of that word for a long time. He can remember that kind of lexical, mental lexicon can be developed by repeated encounters. And the last point but not the least is that it also, even graded readers also help us notice grammatical behavior of a word. Is it, for example, if a student if a student read a book, graded readers, if he encounter a word which is in context, then he is easily find out what kind of word, what kind of parts of speech does it contain. Is it a verb? Is it a noun? Or is it a preposition? Or what kind of grammatical behavior that the word, particular word, contains in that context? That is also another benefit where we can receive from reading graded readers. To access graded readers, we have a Pound Nation's website. Pound Nation is very globally renowned linguist and the ELT practitioner. He developed this kind of graded readers for the for beginner to advanced learners with vocabulary ranging from 2000 to 8000 word families also. If you save this PPT, if you link, I mean, if you use this website, you can encounter these books which are freely available on internet. So coming to this L1's translation, another strategy that we can make use while teaching vocabulary to low proficient learners, because here it is worthwhile to consider the fact that the first language, whatever your first language other than second language, plays very crucial role in the teaching learning of vocabulary. Because if we teach vocabulary or any other aspects in second language, low proficient learners sometimes find it difficult to understand what the teacher tells, because his proficiency is very low. So in that context, we have to use our mother tongue. But it is also important to note that, having said that, it's also important to note that the point that it is not recommended that every time a teacher should use in first language, and it's not the case. As and when there is requirement, then we have to use the first language for teaching vocabulary for low proficient learners. Let us look at in what context, in what situations we can use our mother tongue while teaching vocabulary knowledge. Okay, the first thing is that we teachers can use mother tongue while explaining the meanings of the words. And the second thing is that discussing some grammatical errors or spelling mistakes, some other pronunciation mistakes if any occurred in between speaking. And also teacher also can use mother tongue while checking learners comprehension. Are they able to understand what is being taught and what is being learned? Are they able to progress, or are they able to track their learning process and even progress also? In that context, teachers also can use mother tongue. And the second, the last but not the least, is that even mother tongue also can be used to draw responses, to elicit responses, and also while giving instructions. When teacher happen to give instruction, you can also good to use, you can also recommend it to use mother tongue while you're giving instructions to first language low proficient learners. Coming to another strategy that we can make use of while teaching vocabulary for low proficient learners is vocabulary through reading. As we know that it is widely known fact that reading is an effective promoter of vocabulary knowledge, vocabulary knowledge, because the more you read, the more vocabulary it grows. Reading is always important factor. Even in ELT research, even research also asserted that reading can improve vocabulary knowledge over a period of time of any sort of learners, be it low proficient, be it advanced or in intermediate students also, even learners also can develop vocabulary knowledge through reading process. So, but the point is that as we are discussing with respect to teaching vocabulary for low proficient learners, it is also important. You can ask me what kind of books can be recommended to teach vocabulary. The clear cut answer to this question is that we can make use of elementary stories for reproduction first series. This is the book which contains elementary, intermediate, advanced. This is a a series of books which was developed and written by L.A. Hill within the 2000 high frequently used word families, and published by Oxford University Press in 2002. So this book generally covers high frequency, as I mentioned earlier, high frequency words, and also consists of 56 stories, with illustrations also. Let us look at one of the examples of the stories. This is a one of the examples among 56 illustrations. As you can see, as all the words contained in this story actually come from high frequency vocabulary knowledge. And also, so coming to the next is that vocabulary through classroom interaction. Interaction, very real, a very impactful and effective tool to develop low proficient learners vocabulary knowledge, because interaction creates a conducive environment, and also very friendly hands-on experience. There's a first-hand experience students will get out of interaction. And also, while teaching vocabulary, there are two things teachers, ESL instructors or teachers should bear in mind while using what kind of language do they have to use. The first is that teachers are suggested to use a language that is related to real life situations. Or let us take what are the real life situations. For example, birthdays, festivals, traveling and cooking, etc. Because these kind of activities, real life situations, are closely related to students' background knowledge and also world knowledge. As a result of using language which is related to students' level, students will easily understand, and they find it very useful, and also very simplistic to learn, to progress, and also to learn that vocabulary. Having said that, for example, conversely, if the student, if a teacher used very highly advanced language, then students will definitely find it, identify it very difficult, cumbersome, to understand, and to grasp the meaning of the what the speaker, what the teacher is saying. So that is why it's always worthwhile that we as a teachers should use language that is related to their background knowledge. And another consideration while teaching vocabulary is that teachers should ask students to talk about their friends, even the stories, whatever they have listened to, or whatever they have read. Because when teachers do so, students also get an opportunity to speak well, and that speaking also can improve their language skills, because I mean their vocabulary knowledge. Because language skills and vocabulary is just like they go hand in hand. They're complementary in nature. They're like mutual inclusive. If one exists, the other thing exists. If a person practices language skills, then his or her vocabulary grows. If a person develops a vocabulary knowledge, then his or her language skills improves over a period of time. So that is why language skills and vocabulary are mutually inclusive. They're complementary in nature. So coming to the last aspect of the, I mean, last strategy, very important part of teaching vocabulary for low proficient learners is we have to use authentic materials and also classroom tasks. For example, what I mean by authentic materials here, you can represent authentic materials as advertisements, train time schedule, or informational movies or newspaper cuttings on weather forecast, because it gives you simple vocabulary, even real life situation vocabulary also. That is also important for teachers to teach vocabulary for these learners. And even classroom tasks also plays very significant role in teaching vocabulary for these learners. For example, let us look at what kind of classroom tasks we can make use of in our classroom. So first is reading story, asking students to read a story which is which is very simple and very one, 2 to 3 paragraphs, paragraph contained stories, and also and asking them to translate it in their mother tongue, so that we can guess whether they understand or not. That is also another task we can make use of in our classroom. And another thing is that even asking, and another thing is that writing 5 sentences about family or village. It's like writing exercises which we can employ in classrooms for teachers to develop their spellings, even spelling tasks also another classroom task. And the last is the word search puzzle. We encounter in newspapers where we use search for different word search activities. Also we encounter by newspapers. That kind of activity also can be made use of in classrooms in order to enhance and uplift, brush up their spelling skills and spelling tasks and even vocabulary knowledge also. So it's all about. So I hope you all got a kind of picture, a complete overview of what kind of principles we have to take into account and what kind of materials we can use and what are the strategies that we can make use while teaching vocabulary for low proficient learners. So these are the references you can look at and you can refer to find useful information regarding the this topic. So, any questions? If anybody has questions, I would be happy to answer all of them. So, before ending this presentation, I would like to again thank one and all, each and everyone for enthusiastic participation, and also I would also like to thank Institute of Global Professionals for giving me this opportunity.
Thank you so much, sir, for your rich content presentation, which can impact our
Thank
knowledge
you.
seekers surely.
Thank you, Simon. Thank you.
After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seekers can learn something new, which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, RGP knowledge seekers. Once again, thank you so much, dear sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for our question
Thank
answer
you.
session, which is one more
Yeah,
beautiful
please.
part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we'll be back in our section part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP knowledge seekers,
Okay.
please
Okay.
ask your question in the comment box as much as if you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have webinar certification and online quiz competition. Sir, our first question is
How can we connect you? Kindly share your email. Okay, WhatsApp. Yeah, you can take my WhatsApp number if you want. Hello. You can note down my WhatsApp number +91 630 1044 126. I hope I'm clear.
once again, thank you so much, Honorable Sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topics. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable Sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new day. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Yeah, thank you for
Thank you. IGP Knowledge Seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we'll start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. IGP Knowledge Seekers, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Certification process, certification instruction. Step 1. Visit www.eduigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Step 2. Find a running session and get enrolled. Step 3. After watching and completing part 1 video session, click mark as complete. Step 4, move to the next, which is the learning test, passing marks 80%. Step 5, if passed, back to the course again to download your certificate. If failed, to retake the quiz. Step 6, download your certification in PDF or JPG. For your attention, I am going to share the procedure again. Certification instruction. Step 1, visit www.eduigb.com. Please make sure your presence on our website, sign up or sign in. Step 2, find the learning session and get enrolled. Step 3, after watching and completing part 1 video session, click mark as complete. Step 4, move to the next, which is the learning test quiz, passing marks 80%. Step 5, if passed, back to the course again to download your certificate. If failed, to retake the quiz. Step 6, download your certificate in PDF or JPG. Dear IGP knowledge seekers, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Participation process. Now time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. For some technical problems, we cannot continue our quiz from the website. So to join our quiz, you have to go www.slido.com and today quiz code is 2718193. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. Which question is what vocabulary teaching technique could be used for low level learners? Option 1 substation, option 2 visuals. Right answer is visual. 77% people are right here. Day and Alia. Third is Joycey and Ravago. Fourth is Pauline Zen Apollono. Fifth is Carmela B. Zen. Our second question is games for teaching vocabulary. Option 1 Kim's game. Option 2 the red and blue answers are correct. Right answer is the red and blue answers are correct. 35% people are right here. In the leaderboard, first question is Sirika, Ray, and Ella. Second is Joycey and Ravago. Third is Mary Zoel Rosa. Fourth is Tommy Raval Salvizo. Fifth is Kimberly Marie. Our second question is principal vocabulary by a book. Option 1 by and leave it immediately on a bookshelf. Option 2 learn how to use dictionaries and vocabulary notebooks. Right answer is learn how to use dictionaries, have vocabulary notebooks. 98% people are right here. In the leaderboard, first person is Alex Jaber Alvarez, second is Kimberly Mary, third is Flomi Raghul Servizo, fourth is Erika Ray and Hala, fifth is Mary Joel Rosa. Our fourth question is which of the following is best for teaching English language learners vocabulary? Use word shorts. Option 2 identify cognates. Right answer is identify cognates. 26% people are right here. In the leaderboard, first person is Flomi Raghul Servizo, second is Sharon Gate SEC Servizo, third is Alex Jaber Alvarez, fourth is Maria Teresa Zorolo Nebo, fifth is Davison May Elisa. Our fifth question is looking up words in a dictionary is not useful for teaching vocabulary. Is it true or false? Right answer is true. Only 5% people are right here. Second is Arun Get SEC Selvizo. Third position is Arun Get SEC Selvizo. Fourth is John Michael F. Faber. Fifth is Alex Jaber Alvarez. Fourth is Maria Teresa Zorolo Nebo. Fifth is Erika Ray and Hala. Our sixth question is strategy for teaching vocabulary. Option 1 repeat 10 lakh times. Option 2 organizing your own talk. Right answer is organizing your own talk. 79% people are right here. In the leaderboard, first question is Kimberly Mary, second is Tommy Raghul Selvizo, third is John Michael F. Faber, fourth is Arun Get SCC Selvizo, fifth is Alex Jaber Alvarez. Our seventh question is teaching vocabulary is critical for option 1 English language learners, option 2 all students. Right answer is all students. 72% people are right here. In the leaderboard, first position is Flomi Raghul Selvizo. Second position is John Michael F. Faber. Third is Arun Gate SEC Selvizo. Fourth is Maria Teresa Zorunda Nebo. Fifth is Erika Ray and Hala. Our eighth question is strategy for teaching vocabulary. Is it true or false? Right answer is true. 94% people are right here. In the leaderboard, first person is Flomi Raghul Selvizo, second is John Michael F. Faber, third is Arun Get SEC Selvizo, fourth is Maria Teresa Zorolo Nebo, fifth is Kimberly Mary. Our ninth question is who is responsible for teaching vocabulary? Option 1 all faculties, option 2 primary teachers. Right answer is all faculty. 79% people are right here. In the leaderboard, first person is Flomi Raghul Selvizo, second is John Michael F. Faber, third is Arun Get SEC Selvizo, Third is Sharon Gate, SCC Selvizo. Fourth is Maria Teresa Zorulo Nebo. Fifth is Kimberly Mem. Our last and final question is implied methods are sufficient for teaching vocabulary. Option 1 true, option 2 false. Right answer is false. 35% people are right here. The leaderboard first question is Swami Ragul Selvizo. Second is John Michael Lefebvre. Third is Sharon Gate SCC Zebar Alvarez. Congratulations, Swami Ragul Selvizo. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners top 10. Congratulations again. We'll take a few minutes to finalize the result and after that we'll issue our online quiz competition certificate on our website and official Facebook page Institute of Global Professions. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners top 10. Congratulations again. We'll take a few minutes to finalize the result and after that we'll issue our online quiz competition certificate on our website and official Facebook page Institute of Global Professionals. Congratulations to our webinar online quiz competition winners top 10. Congratulations again. We'll take a few minutes to finalize the result and after that we'll issue our online quiz competition certificate on our website and official Facebook page Institute of Global Professionals. At the end of our session, we can say properly PDL skills never stops learning because life never is teaching us. Be happy and stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to a goal, not to people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say or hit up the end like button, again once thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation as always. See you in the next session. Thank you.